Hello, and welcome to the OriginMD channel. This is an Origins and Shadows over Innistrad only Reanimator deck. It's assumed you've already watched the level 1 video, discussing which set to build up first, and the level 2 video, regarding the basic types of decks there are in Magic. This deck works by populating your graveyard with strong creatures, and bringing them back with their reanimation spells into the battlefield. The earliest you can do this in Magic Duels is turn 5, and if you set up the board and reanimate them, you will have a decent chance of winning. To survive this long, you need strong instant speed removal and board wipes, especially with the increased popularity of go-white aggro decks. Ultra-aggressive strategies can beat this deck if you don't draw the removal and combo elements, but you should still have a good chance of reaching rank 40. If you would like to see how this deck evolves when you have all the sets, check out the Reanimator Combinator video in the Deck Tech playlist of this channel. A natural enemy of Reanimator decks are control decks that have counter spells that prevent our reanimation spells and graveyard hate cards that exile our creatures. Nevertheless, this list has proven to be resilient enough to reach rank 40 in the Ed Revolt, and plays well enough on mid-range decks. This video features games versus high-rank players. So, how do you play this deck? First of all, you want to get all your high-cost creatures in your graveyard. We have a few tools that help us consistently do just that. Cards like Artificer's Epiphany allows us to draw cards and then discard the creatures. Piece of the Puzzle allows us to look at the top 5 cards and return removal and reanimation spells to our hand. Unfortunately, the lands can't be returned, so watch out for this when you self-mill. Once your fat creatures are there, you are likely to have Spell Mastery and reanimate them on turn 5 or 6 to great effect. To stay alive until then, you should utilize targeted and mass removal. It is crucial to have the mana and spell combination that allows you to survive early game and populate the graveyard. Once you reanimate, you should hopefully be in a position when you can wipe out any resistance standing in your way. The strategy has proven to be consistent enough in most ranked games. Now, let's discuss each card in more detail. We start off with the Lightning Axe, which is our best targeted removal. Not only can we get rid of almost any early game creature or vehicle, we can also discard our fat creatures, which is invaluable. If that wasn't enough, we have a few Madness cards in our deck that can be used with the axe. Fiery Impulse works well against low toughness creatures, and usually there is no lack of targets. It's quite easy for this deck to get Spell Mastery as well. Jace allows us to populate the graveyard while drawing cards, and when he transforms, he can debuff opponent's creatures and potentially allow us to reanimate again with his second ability. At worst, he can chump block or eat removal buying time for us, a solid include, given the limited number of sets we use. Nagging Thoughts allows us to filter our deck and populate the graveyard. It can also be madnessed out with Lightning Axe at instant speed. Prized Amalgam can be hard cast, and it's a recurring threat that will come back from the graveyard once we reanimate any creature, making it a very solid card. Artificer's Epiphany allows us to draw cards and discard creatures. Since it's an instant, it's best used on our opponent's turn. Pieces of the Puzzle is great. It allows us to look at 5 cards and do what we need the most. Put all the creatures in the graveyard and select the spells we need the most, be it reanimation or removal. Since we have 4 copies, we can consistently dig deep into the deck to find what we need. This is a card that makes a good reanimated deck great if used correctly. Languish is our answer to popular go-wise strategies. Takes out indestructible creatures, so Selfless Spirit and Avacyn won't save the day for our opponent. Now we're getting to the creatures. Disciple of the Ring is not the ideal end-all card, but can be useful since we can hardcast him and get additional value from instant and sorcery cards in the graveyard. You can tap down opponent's creatures, such as Ulamog, on their turn, or counter non-creature spells, or untap your own creatures, which may come as a surprise to many opponents. The Gitrog monster has Death Touch. It might not be impressive on a 6 power and toughness creature, but it can act as a good deterrent And most importantly, whenever land is put into your graveyard, you draw a card. If this monster stays on the field, while you mill yourself with the pieces of the puzzle, you can draw a lot of cards and get the ones that you need the most. Necromantic Summons is our reanimation spell of choice. With all the card draw, discard and self-mill, we are likely to have spell mastery by the time we cast it, which means the reanimated creature will get +2/+2. Chandra's Ignition is a classic surprise card. It clears the board nicely, and more often than not, it spells doom for our opponent. If used on a creature we've reanimated, the only card it doesn't synergize with in the deck is Gaia's Revenge, since it's a red spell, not a green spell. Ulvenwald Hydra is an ever-growing threat that has reach, which can be relevant versus flyers, and ramps for an additional land, making it at least a 6/6. Ever After is our mass reanimation spell. If you can pull 2 fat creatures to the battlefield on turn 6, it can really win you the game. An interesting additional effect is that creatures become zombies, so the ultimate of the new Liliana and some other removal spells don't affect them. Alhamret is a 5/5 flyer with a peculiar ability. You get to see the opponent's hand and name a card he can't use until Alhamret leaves the battlefield. This would usually be removal for himself. Gaia's Revenge is a control player's nightmare. It can't be the target of non-green spells or abilities, making it hard for the opponent to interact with it. They need to make you sacrifice it, or use Planar Outburst, or use a Jani's Exile ability. Any of those are difficult to implement for them, even if they have them in the deck, making the Revenge one of the most potent threats we have. As for the mana base, we have 4 islands, 6 swamps, 5 mountains, 2 drowned catacombs, 2 sulfur falls, 2 dragon skull summits, and 4 rolling wilds. Now that we've discussed the deck, let's play. Alright, 1 mana is not enough. This looks a bit more promising. We do have a lot of card shuffle here. Let's keep this hand. Start off with the Rolling Wilds. And I think I'm going to pull out a blue mana so that I can cast out our Shufflers. Alright. Let's see which land he's going to pull. It's going to be a blue mana source. Alright. An island for an island. Seems like a fair play. So we got ourselves a reanimate spell. Not too bad. Let's see what's next. 2 more lands and I think I want an untapped land next turn. Even though I would have loved to use the Evolving Wilds to thin out our deck a little bit more, next turn I think it will be important to go for either the pieces or the Artificer's Epiphany. But our opponent presents such a good target for Fiery Impulse. Can this wait for another turn? Yeah, I think so. Seems to be some sort of Azorius control since he's playing Jace. Although I might be mistaken. But I think that taking him out and not allowing him to discard and draw is good. Alright, Sylvan Advocate, interesting. I wonder what the plan is. So, 2 pieces or not 2 pieces? I think I want to use the Artificer's Epiphany on our opponent's turn so that I will get to draw 2 cards, hopefully get a creature, and I hope to get 1 more land. On the other hand, pieces of the puzzle will allow us to dig quite deep. You know what, let's go for the pieces. Hopefully we'll get a land with one of our card draw spells. Alright, we do get 2 creatures there, and we also get a necromantic summons. So I would say not a bad value. We've also got the Spellmaster enabled. So all we need is just 1 more land. And we need our opponent not to have counter spells. Duskwood, well, this might be a good setup if we have... Alright, we did get the mana. The question is, he has 4 power, and he might have something like a Blessed Alliance, but I feel like getting the Guy's Revenge is still the way to go. Does he have Censor? He has Insubstantiate. Alright. This is nothing major. As long as he doesn't have a counter spell, we're good. And if he plays out more creatures, we can always go for the Languish. We don't have to be afraid of a Spell Queller, since Necromantic Summons cost 5. And not Duskwood. Alright. Let's see, anything else? I think we can clear the board, actually. Don't want to take too much damage. And I'm not in such a hurry to deploy my threats. Since we do have 2 Necromantic Summons and we have the Artifice Epiphany. So Tireless Tracker is completely fine. Our opponent is down to 3 cards in his hand. So Guy's Revenge. Now at 10 power. Let's see if he's going to jump. Alright, that takes 10. Interesting. So, which ways does he have to deal with the Guy's Revenge? Play out creatures to jump. He can also have a Planar Outburst that is going to take it out, a Blessed Alliance. It's going to be a Selfless Spirit. Alright. Has 5 power. He's going to attack. This is pretty interesting. Essentially, we do have a Fiery Impulse here. So I think we can just do that. And I'm really interested to see what our opponent's plan is. Right now I can see. In any case, we could also use the Necromantic Summons to get our Alhamret on the field. This way I would do it already after the attack, but I want to have a look at what he has in his hand. Alright, he is not able to play out anything here, so might as well say no to Archangel Avacyn. And this is going to be a good game. Alright, this is interesting. We do have a Prized Amalgam, but we don't have any card filtering. So we are playing first. Let's keep this hand and see if we can make it work. We are missing a blue mana source for the pieces of the puzzle. But we do have a reanimation spell and a discard. Alright, our opponent plays out a Goblin Arsonist. Still going to wait. We're not at the stage. Alright, we got a decent discard target. Not going to do much else for now. Double red. So with this kind of avatar, this might be a mono red deck. But I'm not really tempted to do anything at this stage. nagging thoughts. Right about now it would be really nice to have some blue mana. Triple red. Attacks for 1 damage are completely fine. And Ethosphere Harvester. Alright. Well, still no blue mana sources. 4 red mana. Has another Arsonist. Interesting attacks, but doesn't activate the Harvester. Alright, we still have one more turn. We still don't have enough mana for the Ever After anyway. So we can just say go. Since our opponent is already at 4 mana, I do suppose he's going to activate the Harvester to attack. Or at least I hope so. No, he's just going to use the 2 Goblin Arsonist. Alright. Doesn't cast out anything, so let's discard a Hydra. Deals 1 additional damage to us. So, question is, do we go for the pieces of the puzzle? I'd say we do. We need to get the maximum value out of the Ever After. Let's see how deep we are going to dig. We've got another Ever After. I think we will need the Chandra's Ignition. And we don't have any creatures there yet. Which is definitely not too optimal. Does he activate the Harvester? Is the question. No, he doesn't. Still at 4 mana. We're down to 13. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go for an Ever After, since we do need something. And we do have the second one, so for now we can just wait. Which land do we want? Let's get a Sulfur Falls. Our opponent is running only red as far as I can see, so he would need something better. As 6/5 with first strike is still not going to get through the Hydra, even if he has lifelink. He might have some way to deal additional 2 damage to us, but I think this is still going to be fine. Since we still have the another Ever After. And we do have Chandra's Ignition. So let's play out the nagging thoughts first. Alright. We can get out 2 creatures, and after this we can play out the pieces of the puzzle. We also get a land out. 2 in fact. Let's see how our opponent plans to deal with this. Alright, attacks again. Might have some other spells. Alright. Is this going to be enough? He also has something else. But this is fine too, since we're going to draw quite a lot of cards and the Chandra's Ignition will be enough to take out everything here. Alright. I think we want to go for the pieces of the puzzle. Let's see how many lands we have first. We've got 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 lands. This is going to be enough for our Chandra's Ignition 5 and 3, 8. So, let's have a look at what's in our deck. Guy's Revenge, not too bad. Necromantic Summons. And another piece of the puzzle. Looks like a good enough idea. We're also going to draw some cards. We've got the Spell Mastery, so I could even just go for the Fiery Impulse twice. Let's draw another card. Get in the Walling Wilds, thin out our deck even more. We've got 2 Chandra's Ignitions. And we've got the Necromantic Summons. But I think I want to clear the field out first, and we do have the Fiery Impulses that we can use to take out some other creatures that he might have, which means we can attack with impunity. We're going to hit him for 6, leaving him at 20. And even if he has creatures with haste, we still have the Fiery Impulses. And if he has burn spells, there isn't much we can do about it anyway. Alright, Dragon Fodder. Anything else? Let's take them out of the equation. Draw a card. Alright, we've got ourselves a Disciple. Might as well go for the Necromantic Summons. Hit him for 10 with haste and the Spell Mastery. Unfortunately, we won't have the opportunity to use the Chandra's Ignition on the Guy's Revenge, but we can still use it on the Gitrog monster, and this will close out the game. Alright, our opponent is going to be playing first. We do have the pieces, so let's keep this hand and see if we can make it work. Alright, Sulfur Falls, interesting. We've got most of the sources of mana that we need. Question is, do we get a double black or double red? Well, double red we already have, double blue. Double black or double blue? That is the question. Doesn't look like our opponent is going to have too many creatures, so let's get the double blue. Alright, Nagging Thoughts, just in time. Let's use them. Alright, I don't really think our opponent is going to be playing creatures in an EZ setting, so might as well take the Prized Amalgam to just hard cast it on turn 3. It's going to be a Drake. So lots of instants and sorceries from our opponent can be expected. We can also just go for the piece of the puzzle or Artifice Epiphany on our opponent's turn. It's a difficult call. Or do we just dig deep and try to find our spells that we need? I think I don't mind just going for the piece of the puzzle. I do want to see a Reanimate spell. Alright. At least we know that we have a target to reanimate now, a guy's revenge. We'll also get some valuable procs from the prized amalgam if we do get the opportunity to reanimate. Our opponent is going to pump the Enigma Drake twice. This is going to deal 8 damage to us, or even 9. Alright. We did not have the mana to take it out anyway. So, we've got 4 mana now. We can take out the Drake right now. And we can discard Alhammered or the prized amalgam. I don't really hate that. Question is, which one do we discard? I'd say let's discard the prized amalgam. Now we're going to wait for our opponent's turn, because if this is going to be some creature that we can take out with a fiery impulse, that's exactly what we're going to do. Alright, he's going to use Expedite, and we're going to use the fiery impulse. Which means he is not going to draw a card. And this is exactly what we want. Alright, we got ourselves an necromantic summons, but we didn't draw a land. So in order to address this, we're going to keep up the fiery impulse for now, and the Artifice Epiphany is going to go next turn. Alright. On our opponent's turn, we're going to have a look, and the Gitrog monster looks like a decent target. So, our opponent would really need a lot of creatures and a lot of pump spells to take us out next turn, with only 4 cards in his hand. So I think we might as well just go for the necromantic summons. Get the Gaia's Revenge and the 2 prized amalgams out. Which means we will get in for 10 this turn, unless our opponent has something unexpected. Alright, Fiery Temper to the face. Means we're down to 8 life. And the question is, does our opponent have what it takes to take us out next turn, or not? Well, judging by the fact that he has left the game, I think it's safe to say that he doesn't have anything. Alright, in this case let's go for the piece of the puzzle to first have a look at what was going to happen next. Another pieces and a languish is not too bad. But let's just go ahead and attack and finish it. Alright. We don't have any red mana sources, but we do have nagging thoughts that we can use to filter, so I think I am going to keep this hand. Let's play out a swamp. Red from the opponent, but no creatures. So far so good. It's a sorcery. Alright. Let's use it, and we do have a necromantic summons already, so I do guess I need a red mana source more than I need the second necromantic summons. This also means that we have enabled spell mastery. So we can wait for our opponent to cast out a creature, then we can discard a card, And we can cast out the Artifice Epiphany on our opponent's turn. Let's see if he will have any creatures. Let's see. I think I want to discard Guy's Revenge, because if our opponent is playing control, then this is going to hit him quite hard. Let's sack the Walling Wilds. Let's see. We have double black. We have a red mana source. We can get another blue or another red. Let's take another blue because we do have a few things that we can do. Question now is, do we play out the nagging thoughts? Or do we wait and use the lightning axe? I think I'm fine with using the nagging thoughts. Alright. We have enough. We have 5 lands now so that we can reanimate the Guy's Revenge. Our opponent has 3 mana sources. Red, black and white. Let's see what else he has. Oath of Gideon. Which means we can straight away just get rid of one of them. He might also have an effect that makes us sacrifice creatures, so this is definitely not ideal. Let's see. He might have Oath of Liliana, and this might be a Super Friends deck. So I think I'm not going to be reanimating this turn. I'm just going to wait and then use the Lightning Axe and discard the Hydra. Let's see. Still nothing. So the question is, do we get the Guy's Revenge out and risk it being removed or being the target of a Blessed Alliance, since our opponent is not playing out anything and not leaving the game? Or do we play out the Hydra? I think I want to play out the Hydra. Doesn't really matter which land we're going to get. I think I'm going to get an Walling Wilds so that I can thin out my deck a bit more. Another reason is that if he doesn't have an effect to get rid of the Hydra, then next turn we can just Chandra's Ignition. Alright, 3 mana, has access to 3 mana still. Will he have a sacrifice effect? Well. Doesn't look like our opponent is going to be winning this game. All we need is just another land. And this will be a one-hit KO. Alright, not going to happen. Let's go ahead and attack. And since we have 2 Chandra's Ignition, I think we can just use one of them. Which leaves our opponent at 2. Alright. He is going to get Sorin, but at 7 loyalty it's still not enough to take out the Hydra, even if he spends all the loyalty counters on dealing damage. Instead he is going to reveal a card, and I'm afraid this is still not going to be enough. This means we can just attack, and this will be game. I'd like to thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.